Chicago, like most big cities, has its fair share of unsolved crime. And in most of these cases, somebody saw or heard something. It could be a suspicious person, a car driving away from the scene, or simply overhearing somebody talking about the case. With your help, we can put these criminals behind bars where they belong. Here in Chicago, we have too many unsolved murders. We need your help. In these cases, the police department is only as strong as the citizens that get involved. Oftentimes, all the detectives need is a tip, a start. Somebody to call in and say, I saw something. Any little information that you know can be the impetus to solve the entire case. On tonight's episode, we'll be featuring the case of 35-year-old Donetello Herrera. On December 17th, 2014, Donetello, a hardworking family man, had just finished his shift at work. He was waiting at a bus stop when a dark SUV pulled up next to him and several shots rang out, striking and killing Donetello instantly. Here's his story.
I met Donetello through his brother. He was 17. We started seeing each other, like going out to the movies and stuff like that. And I was 21, I believe. He was younger than me.
I met Donetello through his brother Jason. I was celebrating Jason's birthday, and Donetello came in from work. He was all frustrated. I got him to calm down, and after that, we started talking, just instant friends,
He would come over on the weekend, spend the weekend with us. We'd have pizza night, movie night. He was part of our family.
We got together, had a real good time. Because anytime we could always talk to each other about our problems. Anytime, I was always there.
We went to the library, actually. We like to read a lot, so that's what we did. We went to the library.
Donetello was, by all accounts, just a great guy.
We normally stay at home. He'd usually make me breakfast in bed, make me my coffee.
He was one of the friendliest persons you'd ever meet. He would welcome anybody that he met.
He would walk in the room, he'd be like, hey, what's up? How's everybody doing? He'd want to know from how everybody was doing.
He just loved to talk to people. He was a little bit of a chatterbox.
He was very talkative. Sometimes he talked a little bit too much, I would tell him, but he had a very good vocabulary.
He was a big fan of science fiction. He loved Star Wars.
We related a lot of stuff in our background, like in Star Wars and all kinds of sci-fi stuff, so we talk about that.
He was a big video game freak, is what I call it.
Yeah, we were real big on gaming a lot of times when we got together. Played quite a bit of Mortal Kombat, Grand Theft Auto. He was in Romance in the Three Kingdoms. Just different, we used to play all kinds of games together,
As a family, we would get together like Saturday nights and we would play. We'd do the Connect thing, and we were big on the PlayStation. I personally liked like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that, Street Fighter.
He's very talkative, very personality person, really good dude, just great heart, He made everyone feel warm, welcome around him,
He was a family man. He loved his kids. He was a great father.
Oh, he was awesome with his children.
There's Donetello, which is the second, not a junior. D'Artagnan, and our Mexican princess is Serenity.
I remember the night his first son was born. We hung out the entire night. We barely slept. Just a wonderful father. He always took very good care of him. Really cared about his children.
He is somebody that provided for his family, worked hard for his family, and loved his family.
He would get up and go and come home. He was a hard worker.
Any job, he always gave it 110%, no matter what he did. Whatever he did, he always pushed more than the average.
He kept his circle of friends small, so when he would come over to my family, which they accepted him with open arms.
He actually wanted to be a police officer to make his neighborhood safer.
He did dream about being a police officer. There was too much violence in the streets and he wanted to get rid of it because, his kids play in those streets.
He was talking about that quite a bit, and I just saw a lot of how some of these kids were acting and some of the stuff that was going on, and he just didn't like it.
He never did go to pursue it because of the simple fact that he didn't want it to interfere with the time that he had with his kids.
Donetello was just a hard-working family man. No criminal record, didn't drink, didn't smoke. I mean, this is somebody that literally provided for his family, loved his family, and to think that his life could just be tragically taken from him is just senseless violence.
On December 17th of 2014, officers responded to a 911 call, man shot over the area of Western and Roosevelt and Ogden. Approximately at 1 o'clock in the morning, officers arrived. They observed Mr. Herrera on the ground, having been shot.
Have you been in an accident? Have you been the victim of discrimination or had your rights violated? Have you been injured? If so, the lawyers at Hale Law would love to talk to you. We offer a free consultation. Call me, Andy Hale, 312-870-6926. 312-870-6926. I look forward to talking with you about your case.
On December 17th, 2014, officers responded to a shots fired man down at the area of Ogden and Western. When the officers arrived on scene, they observed that the man was down. When they approached, they learned that he had been shot, and he was quickly identified as Donetello Herrera.
I talked to him 2 weeks before it happened. We were planning to get together for the holidays, and talking about his day. He was a little bit frustrated.
At about 12:45 a.m., Donetello had finished his shift managing a Burger King.
Mr. Herrera worked at the Burger King that was right in the area there, right across the street. We do know that he took a break during the day because he was feeling a little under the weather. Went to Walgreens, came back, and it appeared that he was a little disturbed, for what reason we don't know. And that he was waiting for a bus with another individual.
He was waiting on the bus stop to come home.
I knew it happened at 1:17 in the morning. Some guy in a car came out.
Because it was 1 in the morning, traffic was light to none. There was a dark colored SUV and a smaller gray or light color vehicle.
The car went around 3 times, and then on the 3rd time, that's when they shot.
Shots rang out of a vehicle, one or the two.
Only one of them hit him.
It just opened fire on the bus stop.
There was also another person at the bus stop, apparently, who Donetello didn't know. The police aren't sure if the other person at the bus stop was actually the intended target. There's also a possibility robbery could have been the motive, since Donetello's watch was found in the street.
The detective said they don't know if the person was trying to rob him or something because his watch was in the street. And normally he took his watch to work, but he would take it off and then put it on at the end of the night. So I'm not sure if he was putting it on while he was on the bus stop or if the person who was in the car was telling him to give him the watch.
And then, unfortunately, Mr. Herrera was shot and killed. After the shooting, the vehicle went westbound on Ogden Avenue. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced at the hospital. And unfortunately, he did not survive.
I was working the night shift when I got the call. And it's like I knew when they shot him because I felt this pain.
Officers responded to a 911 call, man shot over the area of Western and Roosevelt and Ogden. Approximately at 1 o'clock in the morning, officers arrived. They observed Mr. Herrera, Donetello, on the ground, having been shot.
I got a call on my phone line at work, and this number just kept on popping up and popping up and popping up, and I'm like, well, something must be wrong. I went to the washroom and I started calling my son. And I'm like, is your dad there yet? And he's like, he's not here yet, he's not here yet. And I said, what do you mean he's not there yet? He should have been there by 2 o'clock in the morning. He should have at least been there by 2. Oh, he's not here yet, Ma, he's not here yet. And so when that call came through again, I picked it up. And it was a detective.
The officers arrived and they immediately protected the crime scene. Again, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, so there were not a lot of people out there. The detectives arrived and immediately began with their investigation by conducting a canvass.
I had to wait for a manager to come and open the doors to the store. And they were there when the manager came, and I was walking out and he informed me that Donetello was shot and killed. I begged him to take me to the hospital so I could see him, touch him, just kiss him last time.
Amanda called me at 6 in the morning. I burst into tears. I feel like he was getting hit right in the chest. I'm sorry. What do you say, man? Find out your brother's murdered.
He was a family man. He wasn't into gangs or anything like that. It just ripped our family apart. We were like solid, and it just sucks now, really, to tell you the truth.
On December 17th, 2014, officers responded to a shots fired man down at the area of Ogden and Western. As they approached, they observed Mr. Herrera was down on the ground. He had been shot. He was standing next to a CTA bus shelter. The glass of that shelter had also been shot out. They observed 3 casings on the street. He was taken to the hospital, where he was pronounced at the hospital. And unfortunately, he did not survive.
The last thing he told me before we hung up was that he loves me. I believe that if I would have stood on the phone with him, that he wouldn't have been on that bus stop, and that I beat myself up for that.
Some days I feel like it doesn't even feel real to me. I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna get another call like, or something like, hey, what you doing right now? I'm never gonna get that call again.
I couldn't believe it. I had just talked to him. No, he wasn't there. I was like, what am I gonna tell the kids?
The crime scene was right by a bus shelter on Western Avenue. It also included some casings, three casings from the firearm that was used to kill Mr. Herrera. The unusual piece of evidence that we have with this is, as I said, he was shot 1 time. However, there was 3 casings recovered.
I walked in the door and my son Donetello opened the door for me. Then I looked up at him and I just hugged him. I told him that I loved him. And his dad was no longer with us. And he freaked out. He's like, what are you talking about, Ma? And that was woke up D'Artagnan and Serenity. And they came into the kitchen. And I grabbed Serenity's hand and I went down to her level because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. And I told her, Serenity, I said, Daddy went to heaven. And she asked me, why would they do that to my daddy? I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience because I was like, this isn't really happening. It can't be happening because I was just talking to him. He had just told me that he loved me.
So we're here at the scene of Ogden and Western. As you can see right now, there's a lot of traffic, tons of people, tons of cars. Very busy intersection during the day. However, at the time, late December of 2015, when Donetello left work after midnight, not so busy. Not a lot of people out here, not a lot of traffic. Donetello was leaving work, leaving for the Burger King, which is just across the street over there. He was walking towards the bus stop, where you can see there used to be a bus kiosk there. He was waiting for the bus here, waiting in the bus kiosk with another individual who he too was also waiting for the bus. Two vehicles drove by, one whom we believe is a possible witness, which would be a dark-colored SUV. The other who we feel is the offending vehicle, which would be a gray-colored four-door smaller vehicle. We believe, based on the evidence, because of the third window, the window furthest to the north of the kiosk was the one that was shattered. The offenders were positioned just south of the kiosk where Donetello was.
The first 2 weeks I was like, what if the person is trying to find us? They said they couldn't find his keys on him, and I changed all the locks. I was petrified, especially for the kids, because they would have to pass the spot where his father was murdered every day while they go to school.
We're able to make out that we are looking for two specific vehicles, and we're pretty certain that the individuals in both vehicles observed what occurred. I think it's the same car, the smaller Honda or Toyota or Mazda, that might have been touring the area prior to the shooting.
Well, at first I wasn't really into doing holidays because it happened a week before Christmas. And then I told myself I can't do that because then the kids are gonna know that it's affecting me. I don't want them to know that. For a while it was just really hard making meals because I would always make more because he was there. And I did that for about 1.5 years. I finally started making family meals for the family that I have now instead of the family that I had then.
Have you been in an accident? Have you been the victim of discrimination or had your rights violated? Have you been injured? If so, the lawyers at Hale Law would love to talk to you. We offer a free consultation. Call me, Andy Hale, 312-870-6926. 312-870-6926. I look forward to talking with you about your case.
On December 17th, 2014, officers responded to a shots fired man down at the area of Ogden and Western. As they approached, they observed Mr. Herrera was down on the ground. He had been shot. He was standing next to a CTA bus shelter. The glass of that shelter had also been shot out. They observed 3 casings on the street. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced at the hospital. And unfortunately, he did not survive.
Please, just if you know something, say something. This tragedy has affected mine and my kids' lives in a way that I can't even describe.
Donetello had no criminal record. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke. He was the epitome of a family man.
Someone who's trying to make it, for himself and his family and was tragically gunned down. We want to give the family justice. The family's devastated by what occurred.
He was murdered for no reason. Sometimes I go to bed crying. It just sucks. When the man that you think that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with is just taken from you and your kids.
You've got 3 kids who've lost their father, and you've got a wife who lost her husband. This is the kind of senseless violence that needs to stop.
I know this is Chicago, and I know there's a no snitching rule, but this guy was a good dude. He didn't deserve this. So please, if you do have any information, please contact the police. You can remain anonymous.
If anybody knows anything, they can remain anonymous. You don't have to be on TV or anything like that. Just let somebody know, call the number, any little thing, a license plate number. If you were there on the bus and you've seen something, maybe you know actually how many people were in the car, just anything, any little bit can help.
One possible explanation for this shooting is that the other person was the intended target of the people firing the shots. Donetello's watch was also found in the street, so there's a possibility this could have been a robbery. It could have been a case of mistaken identity. I mean, he is killed leaving his shift managing a Burger King. It's almost 1 in the morning, and he's coming home to his family when his life is tragically taken from him.
If anyone in the community has heard anything, You know, either that night of, heard the 3 shots that rang out, or days after the murder, or even now, a couple years after the murder, if you've heard anything, what a motive would have been to shoot Mr. Herrera. Quite often, gang members, they brag about an incident that occurs and that they see either on the news or in the paper or people are talking about it.
These shooters who shoot with impunity need to realize that they're going to be caught, that somebody's going to see something, somebody's going to say something, somebody's going to provide information.
We have no description of an offender. What we have is either the black vehicle, SUV, or the gray vehicle, 4-door, smaller, perhaps like a Toyota or a Honda, Mazda type vehicle.
I honestly urge you to go to Detective Vela, the one that's in charge of this investigation, and tell him what you know.
Any information, anything will help.
This is the kind of case where we need the community's help. We need to solve it and help Donetello's family bring justice to this case.
I just want to put that part of my life to rest already, because I live it every day still.
If you know anything or you've heard anything, please call the Detective Division at 312-747-8380 and ask for the Violent Crimes Office. Whether it's an anonymous call or if you have detailed information and you're willing to come forward as a witness. Nothing is insignificant. No piece of information is insignificant, and we will take that and then see what we can build upon it.
How can you take somebody's life? How can you just so cold-heartedly just murder somebody for no reason?
And again, I urge whoever did this, turn yourself in. I love you, brother. I miss you.
Karma comes full circle. Full circle.
The cases featured on tonight's episode remain unsolved, and we need your help. If you have any information on tonight's episode or any of the cases featured on the show, please give the detectives a call. We need our communities to come together so we can take back our streets and make our neighborhoods safe again.